From Rascott Memorial Gymnasium on the campus of St. Francis High School in Mountain View, California. This is high school basketball brought to you by KMVT. Good evening, everybody. I'm Wes Rappaport, and joining me in the broadcast booth, Andrew Fury. Thank you for joining us this evening. A great matchup here between the 8-3 Mitty Monarchs and the 6-6 St. Francis Lancers. And this game is brought to you by KMVT's All Sports presenting sponsors, the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, part of the Sutter Health Network. Choose your PAMF doctor today. And by Home Instead Senior Care. Home Instead provides the personalized in-home care your loved one needs. Home Instead, to them, it's personal.
As a busy mom of 3 kids, I find it extremely convenient to access My Health Online. My Health Online's messaging service allows me to keep in close contact with our doctor.
Being able to email the doctor with questions gave us assurance that they do take an interest in the patients. That's why we've been with PAN for more than 10 years and keep adding members, the newest member.
Ever since Dad died, taking care of Mom is overwhelming. I can't do it on my own.
Sure, my mother needs me, but I just want to be a daughter again.
Mom wants to stay in her home, but needs more help than ever. It just can't be me all the time.
Struggling to care for an aging parent? You're not alone. Learn how Home Instead Senior Care can provide the personalized in-home care your loved one needs. Home Instead. To us, it's personal.
Here at St. Francis High School, set to tip off the Archbishop Mitty Monarchs and the St. Francis Lancers. I'm Wes Rappaport, sitting alongside Andrew Fury. And Andrew, quite a matchup we've got today. First for Mitty, the big man, Drew Gordon.
Yeah, so Mr. Gordon is one of the best players and premier players in the entire country, ranked right now number 6 in the top 50 best high school players in the country, getting offers from a lot of premier Division I colleges to play for next year, and he will lead this team as they try to avoid the major upset.
And right off the bat, already one mistake, Aaron Gordon, the younger brother. He is the big man, 32, the 6'8 senior, and he tips it off himself to Brandon Abagello, and we are underway in this contest. Abagello inside to Gordon. Gordon takes it himself, tries to get his own boards, no good. The 6-man club here at St. Francis, very loud.
That was a great job of Eric Morgan, keeping his hands up and not committing the foul on Gordon.
Khalid Johnson looking for his brother Khalil Johnson. That one no good. And the Johnson brothers, quite the pair, Andrew.
Yeah, they are, and they will have to play very well tonight in order to pull off the major upset. They present a very different style of play, but they're both going to have to play well.
A backcourt violation from Matt McAndrews, the 5'11 junior guard. And St. Francis will take possession on the sideline. In to inbound it, Michael Laut. Khalid Johnson taking it outside three-point range. He finds Lauk. Lauk out to Khalil Johnson. He finds his brother Khalid. And we'll reset here. Inside to Lauk. Lauk with the layup, and it's good for 2.
That was an excellent job of Lauk as he made the basket cut. He got the ball, dribbled, and laid it in.
Drew Gordon puts it up. No good, but looks like he will head to the line for 2 shots.
That was actually a good defensive play by the Lancers, because you'll see right here, after Gordon gets the quick pass, it's better to foul him hard and prevent him from making the layup than to let him have the layup.
Gordon's first shot is good. And Gordon, 6'8 senior. He has made a few school visits to Washington, Arizona, and Kentucky, all in the fall. He has narrowed his search down to those 3 schools, he says, and we will see where he ends up at the end of this season. Most certainly NBA bound, as he is ranked very high in the top 10 in the country. Khalid Johnson puts up the three. Off the board's no good. That one kicked out of bounds by Eric Morgan. Turnover.
That's what he does, though. Khalid Johnson is the three-point shooter of the two Johnsons, so he has to keep his confidence high and try to stroke it the next time. Khalil Johnson's more of a driver and slasher.
Taking it up is Matt McAndrews, and he gets it stolen. Khalil Johnson puts it up, fouled on the play. He will head to the line, and Matt McAndrews really doing his only option there. Either you let it go or you hack him like he did.
Yeah. And because St. Francis isn't a very good free throw shooting team normally, this was a good play. Instead of allowing the easy layup, McAndrews doesn't have a foul yet. It's not like he's in foul trouble, so he made the hard foul, nothing dirty there, and is going to force Khalil Johnson to make 2 free throws.
6:22 to play, game tied at 2. Johnson will keep it that way. Get some remarks from his teammates. He will head back to the line.
So already, McAndrews earns Mitty at least a point.
And this is both. That is no good for Khalil Johnson, but still early in this game. Aaron Gordon. I will get that mixed up the entire night. Stolen away. Khalid Johnson to his brother Khalil. Could not find him, and that'll be out of bounds.
Well, right now, if you're Mike Motil, the head coach of St. Francis, you got to like the effort his kids are showing up with here tonight, but the execution has been far from desirable. They have to cut down on the turnovers if they want to pull off the upset.
McAndrews inside to Brandon Farrell, 2 points.
And right there was a missed assignment defensively. Both players went with the ball handler, and they left Farrell all alone.
Johnson with the screen set by Michael Lauk, now dishing out to Lauk for 3. No good off the rim, rebounded by the Monarchs. Connor Peterson driving all the way. And there will be a foul called on this play, looking like that is the guard, Khalid Johnson.
So as Peterson got the rebound, he took it all the way down the lane. But right there, Khalid Johnson cuts him off too late, and that's why he had to foul him.
Brandon Farrell putting it up again, and the Monarchs take a 6-2 lead with 5:22 to play.
Both teams playing extremely hard. The difference right now is the Monarchs are executing a lot better than St. Francis.
Khalil Johnson takes it up center. Passes it off to Michael Lauk. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Now Johnson looking for his brother inside, and that pass will be deflected out of bounds by Peterson.
Well, that was a good thought by Khalid Johnson, except he really tried to force that ball into his brother, as there was no passing lane for him to get a completion. And lucky it was only deflected out of bounds.
Passed out to Alex Frazier. Dish back inside to Frazier. Frazier lays it in, 6-4.
Good job of catching it under control, gathering, and then shooting.
Gordon passing it out. And that pass is intercepted there. Turnover, and St. Francis taking control of the possession here. Frazier dishes out to Johnson. Now sets the screen. Johnson drives and passes it out to Lauk. Lauk resetting, 4:20 to go, 6-4 Monarchs. Lauk puts it up, no good, and a great tip there from Brandon Farrell as checking in for the Monarchs. 0-0, Cameron Korb.
So Korb checks in, and going to the bench is McAndrews, who had played very well in the first 3 minutes, 45 seconds of this one. Korb will give you a very different type of player than McAndrews.
So Coach Tim Kennedy going to the bench early as Johnson puts up the 3. That one does not go.
But as we see here, Monarchs do have a much deeper bench than the Lancers.
And Gordon puts it up 3 or 4 times, cannot get that shot to go, and a foul on that play.
Well, sometimes it just pays to be taller than everyone. He got 3 or 4 chances at this one, just couldn't put it in. And then on the box out, Frazier will get called for the foul, already his second. Not much of a foul there. He was just trying to box out a much taller player, but the official called it for him, and Mike Motil is giving an earful to the referee that made that call.
And they will say it was on the ground, so inbounding from the side as Gordon puts up the three. No. Here is Johnson taking it up, dishing it off to his brother. 3:41 to go in the first quarter, 6-4, Mitty. Khalil Johnson for three, airballed it. Rebounded by Brandon Farrell. And that one passed right out of bounds. And Andrew, some of what we've seen is a lot of passes sort of sailing past their intended targets and heading right out of bounds.
Yeah, a lot of players right now not looking or paying attention to where the defense is, pretending like there's no defense, passing to just where they want to. They have to be more aware of where the defense is.
The no-look pass only successful when the other player knows where you are heading it. Here's Aaron Gordon putting it up past the defender, Eric Morgan, and that's another two for the big man.
And Gordon's so strong, he took the contact that time. There was no foul call, but he was still able to put it in.
There's Casey Douglas, the junior forward, sinking it in 8-6 now with 3 minutes to play. Passed out to Korb. A long three for Connor Peterson, does not go, and rebounded by Morgan.
St. Francis doing an excellent job on the glass in this first quarter. This is going to be key if they want to stay in this game.
Absolutely. Here is Johnson, the screen set by Douglas. Then dished off to Douglas. That one does not go, and rebounded by the Monarchs. Here is Aaron Gordon driving it. A long two there. You know, almost looked like he wanted to lay it in and then decided, well, we're going to hold back.
He would have laid it in or dunked it if there weren't two defenders in his way, but because of that, he had to go with the little floater.
Johnson to his brother. Khalil now out to Eric Morgan, and the three is good.
And that's exactly why Morgan presents a matchup problem. Gordon does not want to come out there and guard him that far away.
And a mistake there from Connor Peterson, the 6'2 junior guard. You can't take too many steps there. Only 2 steps, you can't move when you've got the ball. You got to hold your feet down, and as you can see there, a great three from Eric Morgan.
Yeah, it was just a pick and pop. Johnson drove baseline, and then Morgan was sitting wide open. Gordon was sagging into the painted area, and Morgan was left wide open for the three.
Khalil Johnson coming out and checking into this game, Nicholas Keys. As well as Bryson Carbonell. He will dish off to Khalil Johnson, tray ball.
So Johnson hits the three, and St. Francis up 2 again. But Johnson doing a great job of looking for his teammates as well as taking the open shot.
Aaron Gordon, an easy 2. Here is Johnson, drives, great move there, but the shot does not go, rebounded by Gordon.
Still a good look. He's really feeling it right now.
Here is Andrew Scott dishing it out. Korb, no good. Very fast-paced game here as Carbonell's shot does not go, and Gordon will take it up the court. Attempts the move and finally gets it, and then he is hacked as he is going up by Michael Tripaldi, the senior guard. Take a look again here, Andrew.
Both teams are a little out of control right now. They're playing faster than they're capable of with under control, and even Gordon there almost turned the ball over trying to make that behind the back.
Well, that foul, almost a blessing in disguise here to slow this game down with 55 seconds to go. And the 6-man crowd loves the Gordon miss as we see some substitutions entering the game now. Alexander Weitzel and Michael Out coming back in, but slowing the game down I think is going to be an important key with the game tied at 12 apiece, 55 seconds to go. Important to keep the speed and momentum as Gordon misses both of his free throws.
And that is very rare for him. He's normally a great free throw shooter.
Here's Lauk. 45 on the clock in this first quarter, being guarded by Brandon Abagella. Now inside to Carbonell. Michael Tripaldi looking to drive. He'll pass outside. Carbonell. Now Lauk takes a step inside, and that one barely goes. It swishes in. 25 on the clock.
And what this crowd has been allowed to do is keep in the game and keep being raucous because St. Francis is in this game.
A great swirl basket there from the Lancers. 12 seconds on the clock, inside of 10. Aaron Gordon puts it up, no good. 7 on the clock. This will be the last possession here as Lauk will take it. 1 second. Carbonell puts up the 3 and no good. So a very fast first quarter there between the Monarchs and the Lancers. And as we finish the first quarter, St. Francis leads 14-12. At the start of the second quarter, St. Francis Lancers 14, Archbishop Mitty Monarchs 12. Wes Rappaport, Andrew Fury bringing you the action on KMVT. The crowd on their feet as we begin the second quarter. The Lancers taking it out. Here's Johnson dishing it off to Carbonell. Now Lauk on the outside. A lot of movement here offensively for the Lancers, but they always end up sort of right back where they started. And Coach Mike Motil fully aware and making a lot of action there. The 3-ball no good from Carbonell, rebounded by the Monarchs.
That was not a very good offensive possession for St. Francis. A lot of standing around, no ball movement.
Abagello putting up the 2, no good. It looks like he was fouled there, but instead the foul will be on the ground. And it looks like that one will go against St. Francis. And it will. That one against Khalid Johnson. Take a look again here, Andrew.
Well, it was off a wild shot and a little out of control, but then Andrew Scott was right there for the rebound, and that's where he got fouled.
Brandon Abagello inside to Scott.
What a pass.
Nice play.
Yeah, Brandon Abagello, the no-look, left-handed pass from a right-handed player.
Great move there as the game is now tied, and Johnson will try and get it to go, but he cannot. Rebounded by the Monarchs with 6:48 to go. Here is the pass out to Davis Messer. Messer at the post. Now Abagello drives. And an offensive foul called against Abagello. He is not too happy on that. Great charge there from Alex Frazier.
That was a great job of Alex Frazier getting in position well before Abagello went into his jump for the layup. And because of that, it was a great call by the official. It was definitely an offensive foul.
Frazier setting his feet. That's what you got to do. You got to stay motionless. And when the offensive player comes in there and fires it, that is most definitely going to go the other way. Here is Johnson now to Frazier. Back to Johnson, and that one will trickle out of bounds. All of the officials sort of figuring out that one, and it looks like the Lancers will keep it. 6:28 to go, game tied at 14.
The longer the St. Francis stays into this game, the more Mitty will get nervous and start making mistakes.
And a quick pass to Alex Frazier, a great inbound pass and quick shot from the Lancers, 16-14 with 6:15 to go. Here's a long shot from J.P. Rindfleisch. That one doesn't go, but we will have a foul on the play. Charge to Brandon Abagello. And that is his second as we continue this one here in Raskov Memorial Gymnasium. Johnson, Frazier, now Lauk, the top of the three-point arc. Frazier with the screen, now to Khalil Johnson. He finds Eric Morgan. Morgan drives, and a great lay-in from Eric Morgan.
And right now it has to be Eric Morgan's time with Aaron Gordon out of the game. Morgan a serious advantage over whoever's guarding him.
J.P. Rindfleisch, a nice shot, but not quite on this one, and the Lancers will take over. Khalid Johnson out to Khalil. And Khalil Johnson takes it himself. And we'll have a timeout for Archbishop Mitty. A great offensive play there. Johnson to Johnson. Unbelievable.
Now, I've heard of the no-look pass, but I haven't heard of the no-look shot before. You'll see Johnson drives, no one cuts him off, and goes way too late, and he released him without even looking at the basket. Watch here. Right as he comes to the basket, he's not even looking, flips it up, and somehow gets it to go.
Yeah, Peterson and Rinfleisch just not able to get it there. KMVT Sports would like to thank Home Instead Senior Care for their continuing support of high school sports programming. Home Instead, to them, it's personal. So it's 20-14 with just under 5.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Wes Rappaport, Andrew Fury bringing you the action on KMVT.
And right after the timeout, 30-second call by Tim Kennedy, Aaron Gordon's immediately reinserted into this game as St. Francis is the largest lead right now at 6.
Gordon back in there, as well as Matt McAndrews. And he has it now. The dishes now back out to McAndrews. Almost picks up that dribble, but he instead sends it to Connor Peterson. McAndrews underneath. And we'll have a jump ball as Gordon tries to put it up, but Frazier and Morgan say, I don't think so. Let's take another look.
Yeah, as McAndrews drove, a great feed to Gordon, but see, instead of going straight up, he took that dribble, and that's what allowed Morgan to get in position for the tie-up.
Inbounded, the 3 ball for Matt McAndrews is good. So this game now within 3. Tipped out of bounds there. And a substitution entering the game, Ted Young, the 6-foot junior.
Young, a defensive specialist. Won't give them a whole lot of offense, but defense, he's pretty solid.
Both coaches using their bench wisely and bringing in players that will most definitely impact this game for each team. Here is Khalil Johnson. And it looks like he's going to go to Khalid, and he does. And that one nearly taken away, but picked up by Lauk. A long 3 off the backboard, no good, rebounded by the Monarchs. And here is McAndrews, takes it himself, ends up on the ground, and Aaron Gordon tries the alley-oop, but not quite this time. A great feed there from Connor Peterson. And when Aaron Gordon tries to go up for that one, just can't quite make it go. Let's take another look as he is so close, Andrew.
Yeah, but what he should have done there was not try for the dunk, catch it with 2 hands, and then go up and dunk it when he's under control, because the pass wasn't very good for an alley-oop.
Mike Motil, not a happy camper at the moment, as the Monarchs will take possession of this one. Gordon in 3-point range. He finds Peterson. And now out to McAndrews.
Watch for the high post. Basket cut.
McAndrews inside to Peterson, then back to McAndrews. A great give and go.
That time they went the UCLA triangle play where they stuck Farrell at the high post. McAndrews passed to the wing and cut right around him, used him as a screen and laid it in.
Really smart offensive play, catching the Lancers off guard and catching them napping a little bit. Khalil Johnson fakes the 3, but does not take it, and he dishes off. Now takes it back himself. 8 seconds on the shot clock. And Morgan travels before Gordon smacks it out of his grasp. So we will stop play here with 3:18 to go in the first half.
I think it's a great call, or a fortunate break for the Monarchs that it was called traveling, because I'm pretty sure that would have been a goaltending on Gordon had it not been called traveling first.
Yeah, that one looked like it was, gonna go, but nevertheless, the travel called first. 20-19 with 3:03 to go. And a foul on this one that one heading to Eric Morgan as Gordon heads to the line.
Well, no one on St. Francis can guard Gordon, so he has to know that and recognize that and demand the ball down low on the post like he did that time. And when he gets it, make a quick, strong move.
Gordon last year, virtually an all-star for this Mitty team. He was an all-WCal first team. He was WCal Player of the Year. Among countless other awards, he was ESPN High School Cal High Sports Mr. Basketball 2012. So as he ties this one up here with 3 minutes to go, no lack of stardom from Aaron Gordon. 2:51, game tied at 20, and a timeout taken by Mike Flotil. He is not happy, and he has a bone to pick here with Khalid Johnson.
And I think basically what he's telling him, this would be the nicer version, but he's saying move the basketball. There's too much standing around, and he's got to start the play sooner. It was all the way down to about 20 seconds before he started to make the play call.
And it seems like there's been a lot of movement offensively for the Lancers, but not necessarily successful movement. I mean, there's been a lot of cycling around the court, but when the ball will end up sort of in the same place every time, and then a long three put up or a drive, it seems to be for the most part unsuccessful. Only 20 points for both of these teams so far into the game. You expect maybe a little bit more from the Lancers, at least early on.
Yeah, especially because of the offensive firepower both of these teams normally have.
Absolutely. Here is Khalid Johnson after a pep talk from coach, now inside to Carbonell. Morgan for three, no good, but that's exactly the type of ball movement we did not see a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and that's a good look.
Gordon drives it, easy two for Aaron Gordon.
Right now, I would expect in the final 2 minutes, 20 seconds of this half for Aaron Gordon to start take over offensively. No one can guard him.
22-20, 2:15 to go in this first half. And Khalid Johnson takes it himself and finds himself wide open in easy two.
One thing the Monarchs are going to have to correct at halftime is the help side defense, because it has been poor in this first half.
The Mitty fans chanting, "Let's go Mitty." We'll see what kind of an impact that will have as Matt McAndrews passes to the corner. Peterson for three, yes!
And that's another possession of great ball movement by the Monarchs. A drive by McAndrews found Peterson in the corner, and that's his favorite spot.
Tim Kennedy coaching this team well. The Lancers will try it, this time no good. Rebounded by Lauk, now to Carbonell. Looking for Johnson, but was not able to get that pass off successfully. It'll be a backcourt violation, and with 1:27 to go, the Monarchs leading 25-22. Now let's talk about these Johnson brothers here. Let's talk about the impact, Andrew, that they're having on this game so far.
Well, they're playing very well for the most part right now. Now there is some offensive plays that haven't been too successful, but for the most part, they're playing great defense, gotten a few steals, gotten out of run, and their transition offense looks superb.
Mike Motil sending in Khalil Johnson, both of the Johnson brothers out there now. Peterson outside to McAndrews. A long two, it's good.
And that was the opposite of what happened the previous possession. That time was Peterson driving, finding McAndrews for the deep true.
Those two proving to be a great pair. Gordon coming way out of the key to guard Johnson.
And another thing is the defensive pressure has really ratcheted up for the Monarchs in the last about 3 minutes.
Here's Lauk. It's Flotil on his knees. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson puts it up, no good. And a foul as Peterson will head to the line.
That time there was a lack of transition defense by the Lancers. Johnson, the point guard, went in for the teardrop, but there was no rotation back, so it led to an easy layup opportunity by Peterson.
36 seconds flat to go in the first half. A substitution for the Monarchs. Entering the game, Dakari Monroe, the 6-foot sophomore. A lot of 6-foot power from this Monarchs team. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. almost everybody on this team, with the exception of one player, Matt McAndrews, is 6 feet or taller.
And the size has really shown up to be an advantage here in the second quarter where it wasn't in the first, and that's why the Monarchs lead by 7.
That being said, a lot of tall players on the Lancer squad, only 2 players short of 6 feet. Here is Johnson. 12 seconds to go, 29-22. Johnson still dribbling. Outside to Morgan, 3 seconds on the clock. Off the backboard, no good, and that is how this half will come to a close. So after 16 minutes of play, we're at halftime. 29 for the Monarchs, 22 for the Lancers, and we will be back with the second half in just a few minutes.
My parents are really slowing down. I feel bad I can't always be there for them.
How do I choose between caring for my mother and caring for my own family?
I've been looking into the options, but Dad doesn't want to leave his home. What do I do?
Struggling to care for an aging parent? You're not alone. Learn how Home Instead Senior Care can provide the personalized in-home care your loved one needs. Home Instead. To us, it's personal.
I was at a fire department training and I had these shooting pains when they just shot right up into my temples. I went to Palo Alto Medical to follow up with my doctor. He found a heart murmur. It turned out to be an aortic aneurysm, which would have killed me had he not caught it. I don't really like going to the doctor, but I truly like going and seeing the guy. He's a great doctor and he saved my life.
Some young men very excited about tonight's contest. The Monarchs leading the Lancers 29-22 as we enter the second half here. Wes Rappaport, Andrew Fury. And Andrew, let's talk about these teams here as we take a look at the WCAL standings. Mitty 8-3, St. Francis only 6-6.
Yeah, and with St. Francis' normal standard, they're really underachieved so far this year, but Mitty comes in 2-0 in conference play atop the standings along with Sacred Heart Cathedral, and then right underneath them is St. Francis, tied with about 4 teams at 101 in league play. So if St. Francis were to win this game, come back and pull off the upset, they're tied with Mitty.
Rounding off the bottom of the league standings, Bellarmine at 0-2, Valley Christian at 0-2, and we are ready to get underway here in the second half. The Lancers taking this one. Johnson to his brother. Inside to Frazier. Holds on it, puts it up, no good.
And those are shots, especially down to a team that's heavily favored. You've got to knock down if you want to pull off the upset.
The shot from Farrell does not fall. Another one does not fall. Rebounded, a great rebound, but then a push from the Lancers. That one is Michael Lauk.
But if you're Mike Motil, the head coach of St. Francis, you'll accept this foul because it was just a hustle play, and Lauk wasn't quick enough to beat McAndrews to the basketball.
You know what? It shows that Lauk is going after that one.
Yeah.
Gordon puts it up. Aaron Gordon, another one.
He now has 13 points. After a slow first quarter, only scoring 2, he has 11 since then and has looked much more comfortable in this game.
Johnson outside to Lauk for 3, no good. Gordon with the rebound, and the Monarchs take over. This one to Abagello. McAndrews. Peterson for 3, yes! Great shot from Connor Peterson.
And they left him open. He paid for it. A quick timeout for St. Francis, and things are really starting to slip away from St. Francis. They led by 2 after a quarter, but they haven't been able to sustain the intensity since then.
KMVT Sports presenting sponsor is the Palo Alto Medical Foundation, part of the Sutter Health Network. Choose your PAMP doctor today. So some of the, we'll go back to the first half a little bit, a few first half stats. Aaron Gordon rounding out the first half with 11 points by my calculation, and he was the team leader for the Monarchs, and for the Lancers, Morgan with 7. I believe that included those 2 3 balls he had towards the end of the first half. So, not too mismatched in terms of the points, but certainly some work to be done for the Lancers.
Yeah, they trail by 12 right now, led by 2 at the end of a quarter. But then what started happening in the second quarter was the size has really showed up for Mitty, and they have a size advantage over St. Francis, and they started getting more offensive rebounds, more putbacks, more easy transition layups, a lot fewer offensive rebounds for St. Francis, and that's why the Mitty leads by 12.
Johnson looking for a move. He finds a lane, puts it up, almost in, but not quite. This one coming out, and that one will go the other way. Now, Andrew, if you're Mike Motil, what are you telling your team in that timeout or in halftime about turning this game around?
I'm telling them they're right in this game. They're only down by 7 to 10 points, a couple stops and a couple baskets, and they'll be right back in position for the upset.
Well, defensively, not quite happening there. Brandon Farrell for the Monarchs drains another 2, 36 to 22, with 6:22 to play in the third quarter. Here's Johnson setting his team up here. Dishes it to his brother, the double team. Backs off now. Morgan inside. Tries to put up the shot, but Gordon says, I don't think so. And this one tipped right to Gordon. And he tries to put up the shot, but he looks like he was pushed there by Frazier. Great defense from the Lancers, and this one will be reset.
Gordon still should have tried to power up. He's much stronger than Frazier.
That one tipped out of bounds, and I don't know, maybe we can take another look at that tip coming up there from Gordon, but a really good job there from Frazier to get in there, and we will continue with 5:40 to go in the third. The 3 ball from Matt McAndrews, it's good.
And now things really starting to spiral out of control by the Lancers. They call another timeout. Down by 17, they almost have to play a perfect game from here on out to come back and win.
The Lancers having a tough time to convert here. No points so far in this third quarter compared to 10 points already coming from the Monarchs. And, a really strong offensive presence this entire game from Archbishop Mitty, and their fans are proud of it. St. Francis fans, they've been a little bit quiet today. Very powerful when needed, but they haven't had too much to cheer about as they are still losing this ballgame.
Yeah, exactly. In the first quarter, it seemed like the decibel levels were increasing with each possession. They were right in the game. They, in fact, held a 2-point lead and led most of the first quarter. Since then, Mitty's been able to take the crowd out of it, neutralize it with great defensive pressure on the Lanterns. Been suffocating defense, in fact. And ever since Tim Kennedy called that timeout when they were down by 6, with about 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, Rainser, and Gordon, since that moment, it's been 25-2 Mitty run. They have been fantastic.
An incredible offensive presence from the Monarchs after that timeout you mentioned, and the Lancers not able to be as successful tonight so far, but Mike Motil calling 2 timeouts in a row there, so obviously he knows it, and the Lancers are back to work. Here's Johnson. Khalil Johnson drives, and he is fouled. He will head to the line for 2.
That's a much better, that's by far the best offensive possession that the Lancers have had this half. I mean, it's a cut to the basket by Khalil Johnson, and Lau puts the pass right on the money. Johnson able to draw the foul.
So the first team foul for the Monarchs, as the first shot from Johnson does not go. Mike Motil, he needs a break too. It's a stressful one out there if you are the St. Francis Lancers. Johnson sets up for his second shot, and he ends a 17-0 run right there for St. Francis. And now Aaron Gordon gets it to go on the alley-oop, looking for the foul call. Not from this official. And a turnover, a steal here. This one coming up from Peterson. It's good. So 2 back-to-back points And the Mitty fans, they're loving it.
Well, on that Aaron Gordon alley-oop, there was definitely a foul there. It just wasn't called. The player from St. Francis hit him right on the side of the head.
And the ball on the ground. Another timeout called by Mike Motil. He will have another chat. Let's take another look at that beautiful pass to Aaron Gordon up. Oh,
yeah,
gorgeous.
Well, the thing about it now is that St. Francis is out of timeouts. They can't stop the clock for the rest of the game. They're going to have to play without it, and already down by 20. Things are getting out of control.
And there is Peterson's as that one goes. So 2 back-to-back points, back-to-back layups, almost in the same fashion. One of them coming as an alley-oop, and that's exactly what you want if you're the Monarchs. I mean, you want to prove to the Lancers that you're here and you're staying. And with the 20-point lead right now with 4:39 to go, that is big for Archbishop Mitty.
Certainly, and coming into the game, everybody that watches high school basketball across the country knows that Archbishop Mitty is a much better basketball team than St. Francis. It didn't show up in the first quarter of the half, but since then, it's been the clear advantage Monarchs.
Abagello up, and it's good. The All-WCal honorable mention in 2012 sinks 2 easy points and takes a 22-point lead. Morgan drives, puts it up, and Abagello will be called for the foul. He says, well, please, ref, please. This one not happening. That one will be charged to Abagello. Let's take another look here, Andrew.
Yeah, Morgan with a good move to drive baseline, and just catching the wrist a little bit was Abagello. Otherwise, the block was fine.
Connor Peterson lucky that that one was not called on him. It looked like he got most of that. And we will see 5 on, 5 off for the Lancers. The only player remaining will be Eric Morgan, but a substitute for him after he shoots his next free throw. And that's when you know that the Lancers are not having a good time here, when the coach says, okay, everybody out, we're going to try this again. And, you know, not the greatest situation if you're one of those Lancer players.
Certainly, it is never a good feeling to be a starter and then have all the starters come off the court simultaneously.
Peterson to Farrell, a very fast-paced Monarchs team blowing by the Lancers right now.
It was just a 7-point game at halftime. Now it's up to 22. And the Monarchs showed up after halftime. The Lancers have not.
Very strong presence from the Monarchs as the Lancers take their turn. Nicholas Keys for 3. And that one taken by Keys. So Keys doing pretty well, but it is stolen. A great pass. And that one does not go for Matt McAndrews. And the Monarchs will reset. Gordon drives, puts it up. No, we will call the travel first. A 19-point lead for the Monarchs as we will see a substitution here entering for Mitty, Andrew Scott, and Cameron Korb.
And Tim Kennedy applauding both of the players, McAndrews and Farrell, that came off the court. They gave them great minutes after halftime, those 2 starters.
Christopher Lewis, the junior guard, handling the ball. He dishes to Brian Garrett. Garrett looking for a lane, can't find it. A long 2, no good. Gordon with the rebound. Abagello, 2 steps and up. And that one will be charged to Brian Garrett. And Andrew, that's something that you really do have to avoid. I mean, almost in this situation, is it worth giving it up to the Monarchs, or better to just to hack him there?
Yeah, and there definitely was a lot of contact there on Abagello, so good call. But I think he made the right move. Down by 19, you don't want to give any free points to Archbishop Mitty.
The lead now back to 20, 48-28 with 3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. as Abagello sets up for his second. And it's good. We will see Abagello come out. He has done what coach has asked him to do, and JP Rindfleisch will check in for the Monarchs. Here is Chris Lewis crossing half court. The screen from Keys. Lewis looking for a lane. Garrett out to Keys. Now Lewis, we're seeing a lot of that ball movement that we saw earlier in the game, but the ball not really going anywhere, mostly player movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's Garrett. Outside to Lewis. Lewis puts it up, and it's good. Christopher Lewis.
A good move late clock, but they can't always rely on that. They need better ball and player movement prior to late clock.
And with time running out here, 2:15 to go in the third, the Lancers are going to have to pick up the pace a little bit on both sides of the ball. Here's Peterson. Peterson drives, a great move, but that one does not go. He gets his own rebound, and he is hacked. He heads to the line for two. Connor Peterson doing a great job there of maintaining control of the ball and continuing that control all the way up until he gets fouled.
Yeah, and exactly, and a bad job of St. Francis boxing out Peterson after the initial shot, allowing Peterson to get the rebound back and then get fouled.
Coach Tim Kennedy having a word with Aaron Gordon as he will now send in Davis Messer, the 6'4" senior. Well, Messer not quite. We will wait for this second shot. And it's good. Now Messer coming in for Peterson. So we're seeing a trend here. You know, the players making the free throws and then being sent to the bench for some fresh legs, some fresh arms. So far, working out for the Monarchs.
Exactly, and now with the 21-point lead, you're seeing a lot of players that normally don't get a lot of playing time come into the game.
With the long shot, no good. And this one will be a scuffle on the baseline there, and the ball will stay with the Monarchs.
Messer was trying to get it out of the corner there, and St. Francis was out of bounds a couple of times. The second one got called.
The six-man crew having to be held back there as they want to get in on the action. Here's Gordon. 51-30 with 1:33 to go in the third. Gordon drives, puts it up behind the back, but he has traveled before he put up that shot, and Tim Kennedy saying, well, ref, really? Are we sure about that one? Okay, we are. Fair enough. Nicholas Keys set to inbound that one, and if you're Tim Kennedy, you can't be too displeased with the way your team is playing right now.
Exactly. Out of halftime, he's gotten exactly what he wanted from every player that's been in the game. Lots of defensive pressure, good steals, and a lot of transition points.
There's Garrett. Lewis looking for that lane, can't find it. This one out of bounds. And we'll go back to Archbishop Mitty. 1:05 to go in the third, 51-30. The Monarchs taking control of this game in the second half as Aaron Gordon with the beautiful finger roll.
After a couple moves where he traveled, Aaron Gordon made sure that time that he went strong to the basket and didn't travel.
The steal, no one in his way. He puts it off the backboard himself, and Aaron Gordon with the slam. A beautiful play there from Aaron Gordon, and the Mitty fans are going crazy. Folks running up and down the walkway here. Unbelievable. Let's take another look. Andrew, this is incredible.
Off the steal, this is like a slam dunk contest, NBA style. Throws it off the backboard and then two hands dunk. His first dunk of the game.
And if any folks are wondering why he's NBA bound, that's why right there. An incredible shot from Aaron Gordon. Now the Lancers have to do some work here. Garrett for three, in and out, no good. Monarchs will take over, 15 seconds to go, 55-30, Archbishop Mitty. Korb Setting up a play, 6 seconds. Puts it up, off the backboard, no good, and a foul. And let's take another look at this beautiful shot from Aaron Gordon. Andrew, it's just incredible, it really is.
Yeah, exactly. You don't see many high schoolers at all being able to do some of the things Aaron Gordon is capable of. That's definitely good college stuff and NBA moves that he has.
Well, as that one is tipped out of bounds, we can take another look at Gordon's statistics here. He has made a few visits to colleges, mostly in the fall, in September, October, and November. He visited Washington, Arizona, and Kentucky as the third quarter comes to a close with J.P. Rindfleisch's shot unable to go. So at the end of the third quarter, the Archbishop Mitty Monarchs with a 25-point lead over the St. Francis Lancers, 55-30. We will be right back on KMVT. Welcome back. The Monarchs 55, the Lancers 30. An incredible second half performance here from Archbishop Mitty. I'm Wes Rappaport. He's Andrew Fury. This is high school basketball on KMVT Sports.
The starters are back in for St. Francis, but now they're down by 25.
Here is Davis Messer as he goes up and is fouled. That one will be on the ground, so J.P. Rindfleisch will take it out here.
The thing about that last play was that he was going up for a shot but never released the basketball. And in the NBA, that would have been continuation, but not here in high school.
Yeah, the only way to actually score the points is to release the ball.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the thought process.
Here is Korb as he nearly gets that one taken away by Khalid Johnson. And Morgan will be charged with the foul there. Mike Motil giving Morgan the, come on, man, let's pull this together and not let this one get any more out of hand than necessary. 55-30. The score here with 7:26 to play. And another stoppage of play. That one will go, looks like, against the Monarchs. Kevin Feller, the 6'4" senior.
So all bench and players and reserves on the court right now for the Monarchs, starters for the Lancers. Let's see if St. Francis can get any closer.
4 team fouls for the Monarchs, 5 for the Lancers as Alex Frazier lays in a 2. Cameron Korb now taking this one out. Messer puts up the shot, and the Lancers take over. Here is Khalil Johnson, and a lot of energy put into that one, but off the board. Rebounded by his brother. Khalid now finds Michael Lauk. Lauk puts up the 2 from the post. No good. Rebounded by Morgan. Khalil Johnson, no, and finally, Alex Frazier will drain it.
Apparently 4th time's the charm on that offensive possession, but what Johnson needs to realize is it counts 2 nonetheless. He needs to just concentrate on making the basket.
A great steal there from Khalid Johnson as the shot does not follow from Michael Lauk. And as the Monarchs keep possession of that ball, we're going to figure out who that foul is on. Looks like this one is going to be charged to the Lancers.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be called on Alex Frazier for reaching in. And that's the 16th foul on St. Francis, so Mitty is shooting the rest of the way.
So this game is brought to you by Home Instead Senior Care. Home Instead, to them, it's personal. And the Palo Alto Medical Foundation. Choose your doctor today. Well, this game in the hands of the Monarchs. They are in control, 55-34 with 6:19 to play. And an unbelievable second half performance from Archbishop Mitty as it has been the Monarchs all the way in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. The Monarchs came out at halftime, established what they wanted to do, got Aaron Gordon in the game, picked up defensive pressure, half-court man-to-man really intensely. Got a lot of turnovers, and that's what fueled their transition breaks, layups, and that's what expanded this lead. At one point, it was a 25-2 Mitty run, going from being down 20-14 to leading 39-22.
Here's Dakari Monroe. Being guarded by Johnson. Now out to Ted Young. Khalil Johnson puts it up and lays it in. 2 more for the Lancers. Those points that the Lancers desperately need here, and another turnover. And we will see a foul. This one looks like it's going to the Monarchs' Andrew Scott.
Well, what you're seeing right now is that the Monarchs have players in that rarely see court in live game action. So they're trying to do and be all heroes, trying to replicate what Aaron Gordon did a couple of minutes ago. And they're not that type of player, so they need to calm down, play more team basketball right now, and avoid letting this 19-point lead slip away.
This one will trickle out of bounds, and the Monarchs will take over. There's Lisa Tesler operating our camera alongside one of the younger teams, the JV team for Mitty. They are making themselves comfortable over on the baseline there. And that one appeared to go over and back, but the officials say, well, I don't think so. Nevertheless, does not matter. This one a turnover. And Khalil Johnson can't get the dunk to go, but everybody was looking for it, and the Lancers are being much more forceful with their offense and their defense here as that one traveled there. Let's take another look. Andrew, this is very forceful from the Lancers.
The second time Khalil Johnson's gone up for a dunk and missed it. He has to just take it under control and not go for the hero. What he's trying to do right now is trying to outdo Aaron Gordon's dunk.
A substitution for the Lancers. Casey Douglas checking in. 55-36. Monarchs in control. 5 minutes to play in this contest. That lay in, no good. Monroe will take it down. Ted Young out to Feller, and then over to Rindfleisch. Inside to Feller. Young drives, tries to put it up, no good. Gets his own rebound. Goes underneath him, and that one will be turned over. Here's Carbonell taking it all the way, and not quite in there, but a great shot attempt from the Lancers. This one turned over.
Right now, you're seeing the referees want to get out of here as soon as possible because nothing's a foul anymore. They're letting these players pretty much beat each other up inside.
And in some instances, that's a great thought process as Rindfleisch drains that one. In some instances, you think, well, maybe that's the better idea. Let them play it out, and with the game being, and the score being what it is, 57-36, you know, not quite close at this point.
Yeah.
So maybe let's just wrap this one up and get out of here. Could be the thought process from a few folks. That one will stop play here as we will see some more substituting. Matthew Stauber coming in along with Alex Weitzel for the Lancers, and with just under 4 minutes to play, 57-36. This game just about buried for the Monarchs here.
Yeah. That's why they have all their lowest people on the totem pole that see court action in right now, and so does St. Francis.
Certainly don't want to jinx it too early. It has been done, that comebacks of this nature, but so far, not the case. Here's Carbonell. A nice crossover move, and Bryson Carbonell will sink two.
I, in fact, one time saw a high school game where a 32-point lead was lost in the final 4 minutes, and the team that was down by 32 won, but it doesn't appear like that's going to happen here tonight.
It happens as this one is kicked by Michael Tripaldi. I once saw in an NBA game a 13-point change of points in like 15 or 16 seconds. It was unbelievable. Here is the shot from Scott, no good, rebounded by Weitzel, and the Lancers will take over. The drive from Lewis, dishing it to Weitzel, and Weitzel with the no-look behind the back two-handed layup. A beautiful play there. And an off-ball foul here coming from, it looks like that one will be against Weitzel. Let's take another look at Weitzel's shot. Gorgeous.
Weitzel is demanding more playing time with a shot like that.
And we are shooting 1-1 here as the Lancers have hit the 7 foul mark. That one's good, and somebody hanging out up there, making himself comfortable. Everybody's comfortable in this gymnasium.
Well, there hasn't been a lot to cheer about since the first quarter for St. Francis, so that's why.
Very relaxed up there in the rafters, up in the walkway behind the basket. 59-40, 2:55 to go in this ball game. Monarchs over the Lancers. Here's Lewis dishing out to Douglas, and Douglas's shot will not go. Turnover. And as Ted Young tries to put that one up, a nice presence there from the Monarchs, just laying it up there and letting the ball do the rest.
Yeah. And now the referees are talking about it. One had a block and one had a charge. And the referee at the baseline, he's responsible for that call. He called the charge, so that's what the call is going to be.
So we will see the charge, and let's take another look here.
That looked like a good call, though, on the charge.
Definitely a judgment call. Could go both ways, but it's always tough when both officials make two different calls. That does not make it easy. Stepping out of bounds there is Brian Garrett, so the Monarchs will retain possession in Lancer territory. J.P. Rindfleisch inbounds it. And Monroe will set the offense. 2:22 to go. That one nearly taken away a couple of times there. As nearly traveling is Kevin Feller, but that one will be tipped out of bounds. And the Monarchs will keep possession of this one as we approach the 2-minute mark. Here's Rindfleisch outside the arc. Looking for Monroe, having trouble finding him, and he will keep that one inside to Feller, and Feller is knocked down, putting up that shot. Really smart basketball move. That's one of those patented basketball moves where you're trying to draw the foul, you put up the shot, and we will take a look at this replay here.
St. Francis almost had a couple of steals, but then as Monroe got out of there with it, all 4 of St. Francis players were up near the midcourt, so that left a 3-on-1.
Tim Kennedy chatting with the officials, saying, hey, let's watch out for my players here. Let's make sure that everybody's under control. And Feller will head to the line. His first one is good, so back to a 20-point lead, 60-40, with 2:04 remaining in the ball game. The Monarchs with 7 fouls, the Lancers with 8, as this one does not go. And the Lancers will take it down here. Tripaldi. And that one will be a backcourt violation, so really not what you want if you're the Lancers trying to score some points. That does not help your cause.
Exactly, and it's been a pretty miserable last 3 quarters for St. Francis after an excellent first quarter.
So Monroe being heavily guarded as that one is knocked out of bounds by the Lancers' Stauber. Crowd has filled in tonight. It was not too much of a crowd as we started this game, but both sides providing a lot of verbal content to keep this gym lively. And that one appeared to be an over and back, but officials say, no, not this time, and an offensive foul being charged to Matthew Stauber. Let's take a look. Yeah, that one looked offensive to me.
Yeah. It was definitely an offensive foul. Good call by the referee. This has been a pretty solid officiating game for the most part. They've let the players play and decide this outcome.
Usually the better way to let the players take care of it themselves. There's nothing more frustrating than an official who inserts themselves in the wrong context. That one put up by Tripaldi rolls off the rim. Minute 22 to go, 60-40, Archbishop Mitty. And that one tipped away. Rindfleisch gets his own. And the three-pointer is good, but no, the officials one will outrule another, and that's a long two, we'll call it.
All that does pretty much is change the final score of this one. The decision is not in doubt. Mitty will advance to 3-0 in league play.
Weitzel over to Stauber. Tripaldi is fouled as he is outside the arc. We will shoot 1-1. That one being charged to Dakari Monroe, the 6-foot sophomore. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, everybody on this roster is 6 feet or higher, with exception of the junior guard, Matt McAndrews. He's only 5'11". And the St. Francis crowd going wild for Tripaldi's shot going through. We'll see if he can do it again. This time, not quite. The Lancer fans, they got to find something to be creative about, and they are finding their ways to have some fun in this ball game. Down low to Young, and he is fouled going up. He'll head to the stripe for two.
Ted Young received a good pass that time, and he went straight up with it, able to draw the foul.
That one being charged to Casey Douglas. That is his first and the team's 10th. So now in the double bonus for St. Francis, 9 fouls for the Monarchs. So we will be shooting 2 from here on out. Here's Young's second, and it's good. So 64-41 with less than a minute to go, just over 30 seconds. Brian Garrett takes it himself. What a nice layup for the Lancers. Maybe too little too late.
Definitely a little too late, as that's a kicked ball.
That one kicked, and you know, Andrew, if you're the Lancers, what's your thought process right now?
Well, you lost to a very good team, an outstanding team, in fact, ranked top 10 nationally with a top 10 player nationally in Aaron Gordon. And you just got to regroup. You're still could contend for WCALs. You're only 1-2, 3 games into the league standings. You got to regroup and play much better in their next game.
Tripaldi will draw that one, and heading to the line now is Rindfleisch, but these points really won't matter. It is 64-43, 15.3 seconds remaining in the ball game. And it has been a game with a lot of memorable moments. We have seen some incredible action from the star point forward, Aaron Gordon. We have seen a few really nice attempts of a similar nature coming from the Lancers. But the Monarchs really in command of this game the whole way out as the 3 comes in from Garrett. But this ball game is over. So the final in this contest, Archbishop Mitty Monarchs 66 and the St. Francis Lancers 45. Andrew, what are your initial reactions after this one?
Archbishop Mitty lived up to the billing. In this one, they played outstanding for 2.5 quarters. After time, Kennedy, their head coach, got on them during that timeout in the middle of the second quarter. They played fantastically. 25-2 run right after that timeout was the reason they won this game.
And Archbishop Mitty moves now to 9-3. Overall, they are 3-0 in the WCAL, and St. Francis now below 500. They are 6-7 overall and 1 and 2 in the WCAL. All right, our director-producer, Bobby Chastain. Thank you, Bobby. Our cameras, Janet Wu, Lisa Tesler, and Sherlyn Meacham. Special thanks to St. Francis High School. And extra special thanks to Joe Schramm. You can view all of these games online and order DVDs on the web. Just visit www.kmvt15.org/sports. Well, for my partner Andrew Fury, I'm Wes Rappaport. The final here from St. Francis, Archbishop Mitty 66 and St. Francis 45. Have a good night, everybody.